I'm on my way to the highest village in the Highlands. It's called Tomintoul, not Tomintoul. It's a picturesque wee place that sits on the northern slopes of the Cairngorms. It was built in the 1700s and is often the first place in Scotland to be cut off by winter snow. On a good day, the views from here are spectacular. Over 30 years ago, a mysterious stranger from down south came for a visit. Little did they know, but he changed the lives of the people who lived in this community forever. The noble visitor called himself Lord Williams, and he was quickly captivated by his surroundings. He made Tomintoul a second home. Lord Williams's first purchase was a cottage in the village, but he ended up investing millions in Tomintoul. And thanks to his generosity, he became a very popular figure. He gave businesses that had run into trouble a helping hand, spending over £1 million on the local hotel. Today, Lord Williams is remembered as the Laird of Tomintoul, but the source of his generosity was not as it seemed. This Laird was hiding a secret. In 1994, Lord Williams had been around Tomintoul for 8 years. He had a home just outside the village with a magnificent view. But the lie he had built was about to come crashing down. Lord Williams left his cottage and upgraded to the stately home. But he was nowhere to be found when police from London arrived in Tomintoul. They'd come to seize evidence in one of the most extraordinary fraud cases that the Met had ever seen. The money Lord Williams had lavished on the village did not come from an inheritance, and he wasn't really a lord at all. Lord Williams was actually a finance officer at Scotland Yard called Anthony Williams. He bought his title at an auction for £80,000. Yes, you've heard that right. He worked at Scotland Yard, the headquarters of the Metropolitan Police in London. This is the Clockhouse restaurant which Williams used to own. He splashed out £500,000 of stolen money on its renovation. Anthony Williams had embezzled more than £5 million from his employer, the Metropolitan Police. He'd been defrauding them for over a decade, until his cover was eventually blown. Williams began siphoning off small sums of money from the Met Police's operational budget, but soon set up his own company, Tomintoul Enterprises, through which he spent huge amounts of stolen cash. His double life became even more elaborate. He had his own coat of arms drawn up and had his fake title, Lord Williams, written on his checkbook. Actually, one of his colleagues at the Met did catch sight of that and thought it was odd, but he didn't report it. To fit this new identity, Williams also began dressing in swanky clothes and adopting more extravagant habits. One local described him as a perfect gentleman with an aristocratic aura. But in 1994, the law eventually caught up with Williams after the bank sounded the alarm. He was sentenced to 7.5 years. And on sentencing, he said, "The shame of what I have done will always remain with me."